It is our lowest income communities and our communities of color that are most impacted by these extreme conditions and impacted by issues that are not of their own making. And so
women.
Absolutely. And so we have to address this in a way that is about giving resources based on equity, understanding that we fight for equality, but we also need to fight for equity, understanding not everyone starts out at the same place. And if we want people to be in an equal place, sometimes we have to take into account those disparities and do that work.
A Category 4 hurricane just hit Florida. It's moving its way up the East Coast. There's a lot of damage. Like a quarter of the East Coast is without power. And Kamala Harris had a chance to bring people together. You don't want to do that. You want to incite some racial divide. You want to incite some hatred, right? That's what the Democrat Party is doing right now. A little bit of joy, a little opportunity economy, probably some freedom shopping going on very soon, some looting. And Kamala Harris just put her foot in her mouth. And I'd tell you where I'd like to put a foot. How does she get away with this? She says disaster aid should be based on race, right? That's what she's saying. I'll let you hear it from the horse's mouth.
It is our lowest income communities and our communities of color that are most impacted by these extreme conditions and impacted by issues that are not of their own making. And so
women.
Absolutely.
Oh, you had to hear C-SPAN say, and women.
And so we have to address this in a way that is about giving resources based on equity, understanding that we fight for equality, but we also need to fight for equity, understanding not everyone starts out at the same place. And if we want people to be in an equal place, sometimes we have to take into account those disparities and do that work.
There's two people clapping. Not everybody starts out at the same place, but we've got to have equity. What that means is the Democrat Party doesn't care about equal rights. They want equality of outcome. They want everybody to finish the same way. That's what they mean. And Kamala Harris, this is the most racist, vile shit I have heard in a long time. And I'm from Lower Alabama. Okay? This is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. This is the Democrat Party nominee, never missing a chance to incite a little racial divide. Okay? Category 4 hurricane. People are without power. And she wants to talk about dividing up help, resources by equity, by racial division. That's what's going on here, ladies and gentlemen. Just when you thought we couldn't come together as a country, we get the Democrat nominee bringing it up. Let's check out this. This article comes from the AP. Harris comments on addressing climate inequity misrepresented. Was there anything misrepresented in what she said there? Vice President Kamala Harris said that the Hurricane Ian relief will be distributed based on race, with the communities of color receiving aid first. This was in 2022, but it seems like it's never been more clear right now. Never more clear. And these were the comments today. Today, Kamala Harris. Think about it. What do you think about this?
It is wrong to somehow suggest that an undocumented immigrant is a criminal. Being an undocumented immigrant is not a crime. I know what a crime looks like. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. 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 An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal, and we have to correct course in this conversation. We're not going to treat people who are undocumented across the border as criminals. That's correct. It is wrong.
What do you think about that? That's 50 seconds of Kamala Harris saying the people sneaking into our southern border are not criminals. What are they? If you break the law to get in, what are you? Figure that one out. And here we've got Oregon. Public education is a race to the bottom. We must abolish the Department of Education. Oh, and homeschool your kids. Look at this. Right. A new Oregon law removes reading and writing requirements to help students of color. Think about it. Is that going to help things? Will they even be able to read this? Come on, man. The comments are gold. So the new American dream is to be DEI. Gotcha. I'll start learning Chinese right away. This country has gotten so bad, I'm starting to be grateful for being old. Right? That's what's going on here, ladies and gentlemen. This is disgusting. You'll like this. I saved this one for you.
Hurricane Helene is set to make landfall tonight in Florida and the Tampa area. And guys, it's not looking good. 105-mile-per-hour winds. And look at the name of the hurricane, Helene. Coincidentally, that's my ex-wife's name. Our divorce was finalized this week, and if this thing is anything like her, it's going to take your car, it's going to take your house, it's going to ruin your damn life, all right? Probably blow the neighbors too, but I digress. But anyway, guys, I'm sorry to put my air out on the air, but it's been a rough week. And guess what? If you're in this area, right here, the Tampa area, you're going to have a rough week as well, okay? And by the way, another coincidence, her mom and dad, Helene's mom and dad are from Tampa. So, hey, John, Marge, you're going to feel it too. You're going to feel the wrath of Helene like I have for the past 4 years. It's going to be aggressive. And you know what? Maybe, just maybe, if we're lucky, this thing is going to catch some of the illegals that the Biden-Harris administration let in and fling these Mexicans back into Mexico, right? You want to talk about deportation? That'd be the best way to do it. And look at this. Guys, this is not good, all right? Tampa. Why the hell are you living in Tampa anyway? Let's be honest. Who wakes up and goes, you know, honey, let's move to Tampa? Helene's mom and dad, that's who. And it's coming, guys. So this thing's going to be aggressive. By the way, I've never even seen purple before. Have we ever seen purple on the show? This is not good. And what the hell is that? This can't be good. You know what that looks like? That right there? That looks like Satan's butthole. And there he is. And if you live there, you're going to feel the wrath, just like how I felt the wrath of Helene. So Robert, Mike, thank you guys so much for raising a daughter that ruined my life. If you're in Tampa, get the hell out. I'm done.
That is the best weather coverage I've ever seen in my life. You think he's a little bitter? Is that guy a little bitter? Are you a little bitter about this? You a little bitter about Kamala Harris trying to incite some racial hatred over a damn hurricane? That's what it is. I'll play it for you again. Share this video. You know it's going to get suppressed.
It is our lowest income communities and our communities of color that are most impacted by these extreme conditions and impacted by issues that are not of their own making. And so
women.
And so
hurricanes don't give a shit.
This in a way that is about giving resources based on equity, understanding that we fight for equality, but we also need to fight for equity, understanding not everyone starts out at the same place. And if we want people to be in an equal place, sometimes we have to take into account those disparities and do that work. It is.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is disgusting. Hurricanes do not care about your race, gender, color, creed. They don't care about any of that. If America would get to that point, we would get rid of people like this. Kamala Harris is inciting racial division. That's what the Democrat Party is really good at. I thought it was bad under Barack Hussein Obama. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Share this video. I'm disgusted.